Hi, and welcome to Kavita TV, the place to be if you're an extraordinary woman looking for extraordinary love. And I'm so excited today because we have a special guest, Meghan, here. Hi, Meghan.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so happy you're here. So we're going to be coaching Meghan live on a question that she has, and this is all kind of organic and natural. All I know is the question that she's coming to the table with and a little bit of her background. And you're just going to be privy to what transpires between the two of us today. So let's get into it. All right, so Meghan, what's your question?
Okay. So I've been struggling with finding men that are on the same wavelength as me. So personal development and personal growth are of the utmost importance for me. And that's physically, mentally, intellectually, spiritually.
Yeah.
The men that I've been meeting and dating can get down with the physically, mentally, intellectual growth, but not so much the spiritual. So and that is actually top priority.
Yeah.
So I'm struggling with finding people men on with that same vibe.
Yeah, with that same vibe. Yeah, I know. This is a really powerful question, in my opinion, because I think so many women feel like, especially when we're in this world of, developing ourselves and evolving ourselves, that we're like at this kind of, I guess this is kind of a weird way to say it, but a little bit of a different plane.
Sure.
And not everybody can jive on that same plane. And then we start to separate ourselves a bit, and I've done this even in my marriage. So I totally get where you're coming from. So tell me a little bit about, your relationship to your mom when you were younger, and then your relationship to your dad when you were younger.
Sure. My parents were divorced when I was very young, when I was 2.
Yeah.
So it was always them separately. I'm not terribly close with my dad. We're certainly not estranged. We're very, we speak on holidays and birthdays, and we email sometimes about just what's going on, but it's pretty surface.
Yeah.
My mom, I'm super tight with, and always have been, and she's on that same path with me in terms of spirituality, and we speak on those types of things, and so we're close.
That's great.
But not so much my father.
Your dad.
Yeah.
Okay. And does it kind of hurt you sometimes to?
For sure.
Yeah. To not have that real closeness to your dad. Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about why they got divorced when you were younger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was some infidelity, and that caused the split.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Is it comfortable for you to say which person?
My dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was your dad. Yeah. And so all these years, like just having kind of not that relationship with your dad, but having it with your mom, and that feeling like a place that you can bond with your mom on, and it's just feeling like there's nothing to kind of relate to with your dad.
Totally.
And what is your dad spiritual as well, or?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No, the last time we even had a conversation like that, I was a teenager. Yeah. And there was something going on, and I was worried about him, and I was worried about the fact that he didn't believe in God, and so he's always been like a self-proclaimed atheist. So yeah, I'm assuming he still is.
Yeah.
I haven't had that conversation in a long time.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I totally start to see some of these connections. Do you see them as well? Okay, so tell me what you see. Yeah. I strategically asked you those questions
so that you would figure it out. I think there is a correlation between women and their relationships with men and their relationship with their dad. So obviously, if I look at it from that lens, if I'm missing that spiritual relationship with my own father, then I'm probably seeking it even more so in a partner.
Perfect.
I would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening. And just so you know, it's not just, when we're relating to men, it's not just our dads that are an influence, it's both mom and dad.
Oh, interesting.
And I know
out
in the world, we hear a lot of, do you have daddy issues or whatever, but it doesn't actually work that way. Just because just because you're relating to men in a romantic way doesn't mean it's directly related to dad. It's both parents. Just
parental
so you know.
issues.
Yeah, it's both. And we all have them. So, you know, so it is what it is. But, you know, for you, that's totally true. There's a little bit more pressure that you're putting on the men that you're relating to have that peace, because what's actually happening is on an emotional level, not on a logical level. On an emotional level, you're like, if you don't have a spiritual background, then you're going to cheat on me. That you're just going to be a man that leaves me or does something that isn't okay.
That makes a ton of sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Because those two things are connected for you with your dad. It's like he's not spiritual and is atheist, and so he doesn't ethically have responsibility. You know, to anyone. And they're really closely knit. And that doesn't mean that they're knit, you know, if somebody else's father had cheated on their mom, that doesn't mean that those two things are still closely knit for them. It could be something different, but for you, it is definitely closely knit. And so there's this massive pressure being placed on that, because if they don't have that, then you're like, forget it, because I'm going to get hurt here from this place, not from this place.
Right.
How's that resonating?
I've never thought of it like that, but it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
It makes a ton of sense. I think for me, I was thinking of it more as, oh, we just won't get along, you know? And that's easy. You know, that's sort of just skimming the surface. It's not really going into what it really might be.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I know it's kind of blowing your mind as you're thinking about it right now.
Thanks.
I get it. Yes, you're welcome. I do that. I blow people's minds. So. Essentially, what do you do about it, right? So now you've connected some of these things, or we've connected them together. And so what do we do with that, right? So there is absolutely a way to move through that pattern so you don't keep repeating it, okay? And it is about connecting to your dad way more than you are right now. And I want you to get that as you're connecting to him, it's on your terms. It's not, you know, it's not about him being able to express what his life is about, other than if you want to go there with him. You know, it's important to go there if that feels good for you. I'm just saying, I want you to get that this is for you, is what I really want you to understand. Okay. And this has nothing to do with like what your dad's life is like, or what it's not like, or how he betrayed your mom. Because there's a little bit of you wanting to protect your mom by not having a relationship with your dad.
Yes.
You know?
Yep.
And you're allowed to have a relationship with your dad. He's your dad. And your mom wouldn't want you to take on the role of protecting her at your expense.
Right.
Right? She would never want that for you.
No.
So to start to see that you can let that go, you know, and sometimes it's just like a little bit of more of an awareness to the protection that's coming up for you, and your yearning, tapping into your yearning to connect with your dad, because I can feel that for you.
So I'm sorry, maybe you're going to cover that. So in terms of connecting with him, it's not necessarily trying to connect with him on a spiritual level, because that is not there for him.
Connecting.
Like communicating, and I don't, you know, okay. I didn't know if there were certain things I should be asking him. Okay.
So I will give you some of those.
Okay.
So basically, what you can say, what I would specifically ask him is, as you're connecting with him, first of all, know that this is about you. So letting him into your life. You know, so this is how my work life is. And I know this feels so new.
Totally.
And not comfortable.
Right.
I get that. But we're recreating and reconfiguring your relationship with him, because having a spiritual connection is just connecting. Honestly.
Okay.
Right? That's all it really comes down to, is your ability to understand another individual and have them feel that you've seen them. Just as much as you want to be seen. That's spiritual. And it doesn't matter what their practice is or not practiced.
Sure,
right?
totally.
And I know you totally get that. So for him to just let him in on your life, I'm sure he's craving that, but also feels that maybe he doesn't want to disturb your life or hurt you in any way. So he's not intervening. You know, like she has this great life. She's moving forward. If I were to be a part of it or ask for that or anything, then maybe I'm going to ruin it for her. So just connecting with him from that place of like, this is my life, Dad, and I actually do want to have a relationship with you, one that's more connected than I've ever had with you thus far. And saying that to him. And then saying, you know, I realize that this has been impacting my love life, and this is getting vulnerable. And it's been impacting my relationship with you has been impacting me in love, and I want something different in my love life. So I have some questions that I would really need your help with, because when we get them on board with what questions we're about to ask him are a part of solving your problem, they'll go there.
Okay.
But if they have no idea like where these questions are coming from, they're like, why am I talking about this, right? So for your dad to say that, and then you can say like, this is for me and my love life, so I have some questions. And then asking him why he doesn't believe in God, right? Or is it different for him now? And where did he get that from? Just being super curious. This is not about making him anything other than who he is, because you can't change him, but understanding why he is who he is. And, you know, was your mom atheist? Was your dad atheist? Did they not believe in God? What was that like? And you may have some tidbits of that, but there's way more there.
Yeah.
So just being super curious about all of it, and getting to this place from that conversation of being like, oh, I understand why you would feel that way then.
Clarity around it.
Yeah. And when you have compassion for him, and hitting that place of compassion, like I get it. If I had been raised like you, I probably would have been the same way, you know, and getting it to that level. And when you do, something will shift for you big time. And that doesn't mean that you won't find men that you'll be attracted to men that aren't spiritual. I'm not saying that. It's just the pressure gets released. Yeah. You know? And you're able to actually connect with men instead of being in your head about, are they this or are they that? You know? Yeah. And you can actually feel if they are or if they're not. Yes. Because some men are so open to it, but they don't even know that they're open to it yet. Right. You know? Right. I mean, my husband was one of them. And he so desperately wanted somebody to help him with that, you know, and, you know, you may be missing out on those people that are excited to learn and be inspired through you in that way.
That makes a ton of sense. Okay. I wish I brought a notepad.
Yeah.
To write down exactly what I'm supposed to be asking. Yeah. But yeah, I am. I'm totally ready. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
I might just have to ask you some more questions.
Yeah, there are layers to all this. Yeah, for sure. We only have so much time. But thank you for being here and getting vulnerable with your story. Yeah. Thank you. So for all of you listening to Meghan's story, what is it that resonated with you through what she's saying and revealing? And tell us over at Kavita J Patel what that was. I want to hear it. Meghan wants to hear it. Like, what did you get out of this? If you loved what you saw today, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have way more women that I coach live like this to help you break through in your love life as they're breaking through theirs. So thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you in the next episode of Kavita TV.